Let me show you what to do and not do to clean your rubber stamps. Let's get started. I have some rubber stamps here, two different kinds. The clear ones are photopolymer stamps and the rubber ones are cling mount clear stamps. And I'm going to show you how to clean them. Three different ways, and we're going to talk about what maybe not to do. So the first way and the easiest and most convenient way is to use a Simply Shammy. This is a brand new one. It looks just lovely, comes to you. It's a beautiful lavender kind of color. And what I do is I keep it in an unused stamp case. And so this is one of the small ones. And what you need to do, it will come and it'll probably be a little bit wet, a little bit damp, but you do want to run that under water because it needs to be wet. And then you want to wring it out really well and you sit it in here. And when I close it, it doesn't keep it completely air-free, but it keeps it so I can use it from one time to the next. So some people I know, after they stamp, they will stamp down just onto a scrap piece of paper. And that's one way to get most of the ink off. So this was stamped onto a card, now I've stamped off once. I would, if you are going to do this, stamp straight down and straight up each time. Don't wiggle it on the paper because you could damage the rubber and remove that, have it come away from the foam. So what you want to do is you have this out beside you and it is damp, and then you are just going to squish it just a little bit there and it will take all the ink off. You can do the exact same thing for your photopolymer. If you want, you can stamp it onto your piece. There wasn't any ink practically on there that came off. And these will stain a little bit, so just know that. And it looks to me like all of these have dried a little bit right onto the photopolymer, which is okay. Just cleaning them all. Now I'm going to show you with the last one another version. Now what I've done, and I want to show you when you know you need to run this under your tap again. So this is another two that I have. So this one here, you can tell needs to have water because I can't even press it down on the sides. So see how I can press it here? So it's a little bit more damp here. So this part is okay, but these sides are not. So now that my fingers are a little damp, I can. So you just want to take that, run it underneath the sink, and then really wring it out well so it's just damp. You don't want to have a lot of water. So let's look at another way that you can clean your stamps. So that's sort of two already. This is the Stamp and Scrub. And this has been around for a long time in a couple different variations, but this is one of the most fabulous cleaners around there. So even though I use my Simply Shammy most of the time, I also use this one. So what I've done with mine, I don't know if you'll be able to tell, is I have put a little W, meaning that's my wet side. So these are little bristles, and I love that they're black because they don't show any of the ink. And then I have a really old Stamp and Mist bottle, and I just buy the ink refill, or I have in the past, and just replace it. Now I don't do this an awful lot because I use my Simple Shammy a lot, but what you want to do is you want to give yourself some good spritz. This is dry right now, and then you're going to sort of twist that stamp. It's going to get sort of looking like it's got soap on it because there is a cleaner in there, a soap. And then you're going to put it on the side. So I put the W so I always know what's my wet side and what's my dry side. And then once you do that, you really have a very clean stamp. So I would recommend that you clean your stamps every once in a while. I don't know, maybe once a month, once a quarter, just so that they are really clean. So you can do it as well with your photopolymer. It does get that, still won't get that ink off or the staining off, but it will clean them. So I really love my Stamp and Mist, but you do need to have some I love my Stamp and Scrub, and you really need to have some Stamp and Mist for that. Now I want to show you something that I know a lot of people use. So a lot of people will use some kind of wet wipe. And there's a danger in using the wet wipe only because generally they have a lot of lint in them. Some of the best ones that I have found are these ones that come from Costco, the Kirkland brand. They don't have much lint. But why you don't want to use those is it leaves lint behind on your rubber or on your photopolymer. And when you have lint, you're going to have little bits of lint that pick up the ink the next time that you stamp, and you won't get a nice crisp image. So using what we did today, that will clean it off and will not leave lint. So just keep that in mind. If you are a wet one user, make sure you try and find some. And I'm sure there's other ones that don't have lint in them, but just check to make sure. So I hope you love that tip and you're going to use it for cleaning your own rubber stamps. If you liked it, please give it a like below and subscribe to my channel. Also, head on over to my site at designwithjo.ca and sign yourself up for my free gift, which is a free tutorial, and you can be subscribed to my email community. I share lots of weekly tips that you're going to want to know about. Thanks, and we'll see you later.